Hmm. Sometimes I wonder about life itself and about the people around me. Okay, here we go. This is Sunday, the 3rd of April, 2022. Is it the 3rd? Okay. Yeah, without my glasses again. Emergency, Roseman, California. And it's about, 5 before 1 in the morning. How about that one? Ha ha ha. Good morning, fellow zombies. How are we doing today? Are we griping and grumbling today? I know I am. Yeah, no earthquake, just adjusting the damn camera once more. Why not? Why not? Yeah, you see, I got the Roseman shirt again. What the hell? Makes a good night shirt, especially when you're sleeping these days. How about doing behaviors that still attract a hell of a lot of attention? Try this one, boys and girls. The channel I got here is saying the diary of a mentally health person. Name me. My name. Trying to tell people, in my own words, without all the hyperboles, without all the mumbo jumbo of scientific or medical terminology, what it's like to go through mental health. Man, got no degree in anything. I'm still working on an AA degree in the community college, alright? Supposed to be an English major, but I may change it to something else. But that's not part of the mental health, or could have been part of the mental health. Let's see about that one, shall we? And concerning about all the behaviors I've got and been adjusted to and also had to go through all my life, that's still part of my mental health. How I deal with things. How I deal with, well, even dealing with this recording here, instead of looking at it directly and saying, my name is, just staring in front of the camera like, this is on. No, I already know the damn thing's on. But a lot of people are so adjusted to just staring in front of the camera at this point over here, like they got it, or just look over the camera. I'm like, oh, fine, be that way, be like everybody else. I'm not like that. Screw it. I'll look to the side. That's about it. But it makes me uncomfortable talking to people, especially when I'm like this. Because then again, I'm like, yes sir, no sir, yes sir, no sir. I'm talking to a judge. Yes sir, no sir, yes sir, no sir. Here's the facts, sir. Terrific. You can't even express yourself. You can't even be articulate enough. You can't even be communicative enough to tell people what's going on inside of here. Because this is the thing that the squishy organ, and it is a squishy organ. You're squeezing, you gotta squeeze out blood and everything else out of it, but it's still a squishy organ. That controls your thoughts, your feelings, your fears, and hides every other malfunction that's going on inside your body. It may have a countdown clock to your own termination. Who knows? Have they ever discovered that one just yet? Who knows? But they could be. Yeah, just adjusting this thing on a cooling pad. So what good is my channel in the first place? I talk about me. I talk about things what's going on in my life. This is about what's going on with a guy who keeps running into problems all the damn time. Observations, learning, memories, discussions, arguments. Why not? And especially if I'm happen to deal with it with depression and grief, anxiety, PTSD, anger issues. I'm dealing with death issues. I'm dealing with life issues at the same time. But do you think anybody else would be able to do that shit and put it on there? All the talk about the politics. Oh, this is what I think about the politics over here. And if I happen to research on Google or if I happen to research on YouTube concerning about what I'm going through these days, all I see is the TED Talks. All I see is these damn people with letters after their names, or ones who are credentialed, are talking about book behaviors or what they've discovered. Have they ever gone through the damn shit before? I mean, oh, and then probably claim that they got recovered. You gotta see how many people online either they claim that they're recovered or they're probably stringing people along with their stories. I tell you as it is how I'm dealing with it. I have yet, well, aggression. A long time ago, I had seen a behavioral therapist for about 5 years concerning about my mother's death, but not on a consistent basis because I didn't think I'd really need it all that much. Because I felt during that time I was handling things and ignoring and putting things aside and just dealing and coping. I mean, that's how it's supposed to be, right? You get into a tragedy, you deal with cope. Okay, you just shake it off and then get on with it. As I am learning more and more about myself and about other things, trauma builds up. Trauma builds up in your head. I've had probably scar tissue or something like that ever since the day I was born. Always, okay, all the way since 4 years old. Heart surgery starts the whole damn process. People will be groaning about that one. Probably God groans about that one there because I throw that in there. Well, normally a 4-year-old's not supposed to go through that kind of crap. Or is he? Is every 4-year-old out there entitled to get, well, to go through a heart surgery and die and go to heaven and get kicked down for 3 times? I know God's got a purpose. I know God's got a plan. And yes, I am religious. Well, faith-based, yes. I understand about, as much as I understand concerning about the religion I was raised under, the belief systems for that. But as for knowing that there's a power greater than myself beyond me, yes. I can look at my chest at this point over there and say use that as a point of reference. For myself personally, yes. 3 times. I mean, hell, you got an organ pumping blood opened up, and they got to fix valves in there. I mean, first they have to slice you open and do a rib spreader, and then get it into the heart, and then slice the damn thing open that thing up. Oh, by the way, are you on a heart bypass machine? A heart-lung bypass machine? Please tell me that you order in that time. Because this way you're able to get oxygenated blood throughout your system, hopefully without crashing. I crashed 3 times. Okay? So now we got the trauma setting up at this point over here because now the brain's not able to figure this shit out. It remembered for a short time and then subconscious wall. Starts the countdown. Months later, about 2 months later, 2 or 3 months later, staples got to be pulled out. More trauma, more pain, more agony. Learning how to hate. Learning how to be angry and be afraid. Learning more about life is pain and not life is life. And doctors mean pain. And doctors mean agony. And doctors mean raising your blood pressure to the point where you're almost about to stroke out. And they keep calling it white lab coat syndrome. So yes, I've got issues on that one. Developing a hell of a lot of anger issues since a long time ago. And still have them. That's why I haven't been ever able to go to a doctor in a hell of a long while. Not even to a therapist. It's been almost, I don't know, about 10? Almost. I mean, my mother did pass away in 2012. So it's been about 10 years. Okay, so 5 or 6 years? Longer? And I went to recovery places, tried to focus on the service of others, because according to doctrines, you get out of yourself. Okay, fine. So you shove the trauma back further. You don't even realize that you don't even realize that you're coming to a point where the subconscious is saying, "Hold it, boys and girls. We got too much backup over here. We haven't got enough time to filter this shit out until the next problem comes in." Well, then the next problem does come in. You go through evictions. You go through homeless. And then you struggle through surviving on streets, or struggle where you're living in, and then you deal with what's happening. You just have to keep dealing with it. Just keep shoving it and 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 shoving it, shoving it back in the hand. Just imagine you're looking at a big garbage pile, and you got more garbage coming over, and you see this damn thing towering over you. All you've got is a rake, and you need to keep this pile from toppling over. All your crap, all your pain, all your losses, all your loved ones, all the traumas, all the trials, all the tribulations, all the damn PTSD crap you can handle, your anxiety, your fear, everything negative in that damn thing. It kind of reminds me of an episode of MASH where the officers had to take charge in different sections, and one of them happened to deal with garbage. The garbage piles get so damn high, they don't even know how to deal with their garbage, except pile it up and pile it up and pile it up and pile it up until you talk about worse than having hoarders, or use the hoarder method at this point. How much in a closed, cramped space that you have can you put in or keep a lot of stuff in here? And realize that you're probably having a breeding ground for every other damn creature coming in from the face of the earth. But you're still living in here. And your space to live in is shortening up like this, until maybe you can barely live in the damn thing. Garbage outside, garbage inside. All the trials, all the tribulations, all the cracked egg shells, all the plastic containers. All of that stuff and more. Your brain. Look around your surroundings. Take a look. We live and sleep in enclosed cages. We have our homes, we have our apartments, we have places to lay our heads on, more enclosed and sectioned off. There's only so much room that we have to maneuver in there, and we have to keep it clean and neat and tidy, because otherwise we're going to be losing control of it, and then nature takes its course with chaos. You go to another room that's supposed to be used as a storage room, it becomes more chaotic than usual and more unorganized. You start looking in your main living room, and if you're a bachelor like me, you try to keep it as clean and neat as possible because you have people coming over. Well, how about if you don't have anybody coming over here? Perfect excuse for the place to be chaotic and like a landfill. But a landfill, basically clutter, basically some clutter that can be taken out periodically and gotten rid of. But what if it wasn't? What if you're looking inside your dark side of your brain, where you comfortably sleep in, and this is where your dreams are coming from? And what happens if you got so much stuff and nightmarish things crawling around, or swimming around, or slithering, or flying? Kind of makes you wonder about it, doesn't it? Uh huh. Well, guess what? It's a dark, spooky place. Not much light in your brain or in the subconscious. Of course, creativity is in the forefront and always nice and happy and trying to produce some new memories and new stuff out there. But I'm talking about discards. I'm talking about, let's see, if you're young enough, how many times have you been beaten up? How many times have you survived accidents as a kid? Sometimes death defying accidents where you end up in a hospital and damn near dead, come back to life. And there's your trauma right there. That adds more to the trauma area. Of course, if you want to sweep and move that stuff, there's a storage area over here I got. And it's so full of crap in there, it's not even funny. Both physical and everything else. Memories as well. So it's pretty much an uncomfortable place to store stuff. But that's where you got your uncomfortable place to store stuff. Your uncomfortable memories, your feelings, your fears, your phobias. You're developing health patterns, your mental health patterns. Some people think they've got it handled already. Sorry. I hate to tell you something, but you're already screwed up. What was supposed to be quote unquote normal is now becoming abnormal and then becoming normalized. Sorry, but in my case, that's the way it's supposed to be. We're supposed to be dealing with life on life's terms. We're supposed to be learning lessons in life, both good and bad and screwed up. The unfortunate part, more of the bad and screwed up, including the fear and the pain and the phobia, is being built up enough. I'm not talking about it as a doctor. I'm talking about it as a person right now. I'm talking about me. Okay, I'm talking about me. The more I do self-examination on myself, the more I try to look at my memories, the more I look at my behaviors, as much as I can try going back to determine whether or not if I was learning these damn things and how it's being applied in my adulthood up to this point, and why I still have stuff happening in my life that I'm still trying to deal with, and it's hard as hell to deal with. Why I'm getting triggered left and right to break down and become depressed or anxious or have memories, muscle memory, about an accident of a tire falling in the damn face and damn near killing me. How I can go to to a tire place, sniff the tires, and go into convulsions, or into a into a into a session of neurons and misfirings in your brain, something that's causing you to hyperventilate, trying to catch your breath, and I'm feeling nervous and anxiety and anxious, and anxiety is going through me at that point, where I'm about to collapse, and then a minute later, I'm reset. But I'm dazed. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling like my system is still trying to recover. So yeah, it's even a trauma trying to recover from that. It gets even worse is when I'm starting to have sleep issues left and right. Where I'm supposed to be sleeping normal, I don't sleep normal at all anymore. Short cat naps, narcoleptic effects. The snoring issues are almost becoming obsolete, but I still have them. And it scares the hell out of me. I'll sit in the chair. I'll just stare blankly at a spot. And before I know it, I've already either blanked out or slept a good 10-15 minutes without even realizing it, waking up, and I got drool on my face. But this happens here at home more than it does out there. Just a few 5-10 seconds blank, staring blankly because my brain's still trying to reprocess. Means I'm still got into clutter. I'm still trying to rake around and trying to get out of here. But for me, there is no recycling bin. There is no garbage can I can put the stuff in and have it disappeared. There's no delete button on it. You're stuck with it. I'm stuck with it. I don't know about you personally, whoever's watching this, but I know me. I'm getting to know me more and more. And sometimes I have a problem dealing with me. Sounds like I'm whining and griping and bitching about it. Why don't I just tough it out like everybody else did? I did. That's what turned me into a neurotic, sorry son of a bitch. And as for genetics, looking at my weight at this point over here, all the large guys in my family, they got the bulge, and they died around the age of 60. I got photographs. And the ladies, they too. My cousins, they've got it. So they get the mental health, but they're oblivious to it. It'll get to them yet. It'll get to the nieces and nephews and cousins at this point. It'll catch up with them and self-destruct. Me, on the other hand, I don't want to self-destruct. I want to live, damn it. That's why I have to keep doing these damn things left and right. But if I am going to self-destruct, at least I'm going to get this stuff on record. On how I was, how I am. I don't know how I'm going to be, will be, but we'll see what happens. As for this date, this is how I am. This early in the morning. A little nervous about it. Not about the physical stuff that I got to take care of. That should definitely concern the living crap out of me. No, it's the cumulative effects I've already gotten, and each day adds a little bit more to the pile. My worries, my concerns concerning about my condition adds. It's like a I got a perpetual motion machine in here that keeps, or actually a perpetual matter scrambler, or maybe I've got one of those matter replicator machines in my head that keeps popping in more and more stuff where I can't deal with anything. But it's stuff I have to deal with. Yesterday morning, instead of going down that pathway of going nuts, at 3 o'clock in the morning I get up and I do some work. Scary. W4 little word. But it does actually add some activity. I was able to get rid of some of the boxes. At least got them crunched, organized, shoved in another area physically. Got garbage taken care of, at least some of it anyway. Laundry organized, ready to be done during this weekend. Several hours from now, I got to go over to the laundromat of the campus here and see if there's going to be any couple of machines I can use so I can start working with it. Because I need to. I need clean clothing. It has to be done. I got no choice. So it's not one of those things that's going to be affecting me for the rest of my life. It's just I need clean clothing. Otherwise, I'm going to be living on my smelly and stinky and foully stuff. Yeah, not bad. One of the main reasons why us Westerners have to keep taking showers left and right because we don't like to smell our own damn body odor, or let alone deal with the hair oil, or let alone deal with the stuff happening on the scalps, or even along the side of the scalps. But I have to deal with that. I have to deal with probably my weight or thinking about it, and just deal with living. So yeah, mental health, yeah. People think it's a crack. It's a con artist. When you have an athlete who's working her butt off to get to the biggest sports thing that we had going on in civilization, and for a couple of centuries, or maybe more, I don't know, ever since they started the process, trying to show people that this sporting event means people come together without cursing and cussing and basically being gnarly, rotten, sorry sons of sea dogs. They compete and they share and they care for just a few weeks, just about 2.5 weeks. They're human beings. The biggest damn monkey these kids train their asses off for. Until one of them realizes that the pressure that this person has been put under, so much stress, so much strain, that even speaking about it, it costs sponsorship, coaches. People are under the impression that you have to be superhuman. You're going to be the model. You cannot be imperfect. You have to be what society tells you to. If you're going to obtain this status level of a human being, and you're trying to rise above that, you're pointing the spotlights onto that target there. Now the question is, are you doing it for yourself, or are you doing it for everybody else? And if you're doing it for yourself, that's one thing. But if you're doing it because everyone else keeps telling you to, because you've got no choice, you got looped into a contract or something like that, then, well, I don't know what to tell you about that one. But one particular athlete decided hell with it. She had enough. The piles in the dark side of her brain were too much. And it spilled out. And basically just gave her indications, no way she can continue to do what she's got to do. She's got to take time out to clean the damn dark side. Because it's going to be worse than a hoarder. If she's got that much pain and that much trauma in her life, she needs time to sort the damn stuff out before she can go back to her life, realizing that she's got a clock and a timer. And that is telling her that the older she gets, the worse it's going to become. The younger, the more flexible you are. You're supposed to be the more indestructible. And therefore, you can achieve those kind of things that you dreamed about. Until you get to the point where you physically is not able to do this. That's why there's not too many old athletes competing in certain games. Much like us older folks who are trying to live life at a different level, and yet we can't do that because something troubles us to the point where we're not functioning very well. We're trying to figure it out. We still can't figure it out. Or worse is when we lose people left and right, how much pain and how much trouble there is in the subconscious that's giving you that much issue. A lot of people that you lost and loved, including pets. Looking at the apartment I've got right now, I couldn't tell you if I'd be suffocating, but I'm suffocating. My body is actually obtaining enough oxygen in this apartment. There's enough sufficient oxygen here for me to keep breathing for an indefinite time. As long as there's oxygen and it's not polluted enough, I'm surviving. But mental health, for me, different. So with the death of a lot of people, starting with my own, and then I'm losing uncles, aunts, cousins, mother, friends, big brother. It's like boom, 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 boom. I'm looking at it as on a snow-covered turnpike, a freeway, where visibility is beyond zero. And somehow there was a bit of an accident up ahead, but nobody caught it until then. And then you had pileup, the trauma. You have the accident. That's your brain. That's your subconscious. That's it right there. That's the whatever the hell it is that's causing that kind of problem on the freeway. Something caused it to happen. Maybe there's another one down the road. You never know until you'll get another boom, 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 boom. But for right now, you're just adding and stacking to the collateral damage. B. Yeah. I've been doing that ever since I was a long time ago. I don't know about anybody else, but they'll have those TED Talks out there. They'll have those PhDs, MAs, and whatever the hell they got them. Whatever kind of degrees they got to tell you that they know more about psychology than you do. And they're telling you from books. They're not telling you from your own experience. They're not opening up your head and looking into your brain. If they looked at your brain right now, the physical portion of it, they're not going to see the damage in there. Unless, of course, your brain have actually helped cause damage one way or another. Somehow, some way. If there was anything manifesting concerning about the collateral damage that's happening in there, I wouldn't be surprised if the darkness of the subconscious of all that trauma in there was helping it. If any one of the critters happen to slither it out of there to give your body a real issue here. Gets me a little bit more concerned about whether or not if I'm going to be surviving past 60 or not. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because every time there was a death in the family, there was always the males, always past the age of 60. And growing up as a kid, I was losing too many uncles. I've had 2 or 3 uncles that survived World War II. One survived Korean War, actually. I've had cousins, at least a couple of them, survived Vietnam. Didn't even realize I didn't even meet him. Didn't have a chance. But for me, I've had about 3 or 4 males, or 5 or 6, I'm not quite sure. I lost track. They come and go. No matter how many times I kept trying to go through the damn memories and pictures, they come and go. So maybe about five males. And they've all lived past 60, and once they hit past that point, something always had to happen to them. So, call it a curse, call it for something, I don't know. Call it a psychological ploy that puts itself and puts the insanity at work. To where either I believe it to a point where it's going to try to kill me, or I don't. Again, this is part of the diary that I keep talking about. This is the part of the mental health I keep talking about. This is the stuff that goes on inside the head. All these nice, lovely head games. See, I don't need just yet, but I will be. Because they'll be telling me what I'm going to be living like, what I'm going to be existing like, and how things are supposed to be. I can tell you that right now, they're full of shit. They haven't walked my life, they haven't walked my shoes, they don't know the entire thing. But I'll tell you something, if they actually listened or actually watched my videos, including a few of them, they can see what the hell I've been going through and explaining it in detail. Even some of the longer ones, like this one, heading up to 40 minutes almost, talking about what's going on, and scratches the surface. It's just like they're saying you have an onion inside of you. Give me some batter and I'll make an onion rings. Yum yum. Okay, my body is still telling me that it needs to go back to bed. And I believe it. I haven't had a narcoleptic seizure yet, but it's coming. I'm already feeling the signs. I'm already feeling it. How does it feel? When you get into a bit of a pause in your activity, you just kind of sit, stare. You think you're paying attention, but basically your brain's shutting you down a little bit there, and you don't communicate anymore. And you just stare off. Just stare off. Of course, right now I'm more aware of it. Right now, I feel the anxiety building up inside of me because I'm trying to keep it at bay. It happens when I'm really relaxed and I'm not stressing about it. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not talking about it. But if I wasn't focusing on the damn thing, it'd get me. But once in a great while, it'll hit me. It's only when I'm relaxed, too damn tired to care, not stressing enough. And I'll sit here and I'll crap out. Maybe not tonight, but I may do an experiment on it myself eventually. I want to see. I don't want to put myself hooked up to this without any monitors. But I wish I had monitors. I could do pulse. I wish I had myself hooked up to a medical thing. I could make a record of it. And just to see what happens, see the physiological changes, and then try to describe the mental changes as it happens, if I remember it. If I don't remember it, alright, that's it. I gotta get going. I'm at my cutoff point, so. Okay, wrap with you later.